Oh, so parenting. If you're a parent, you're going to get this. If you're not, I wouldn't fucking bother watching. And if you want to be a parent, I'm not sure you should fucking watch anyway. Might put you off. So let me tell you my conundrum. And I think some of you might be able to resonate with this. I have a 19-year-old, a 17-year-old, and then you fucking rewind all the way down to I've got a 7-year-old and I've got a 3-year-old. I have 4 different fucking problems as a parent. For those of you fuckers that have 1 kid and you're fucking moaning because it's hard, try having fucking 4, right? Stop your moaning. You don't realise how fucking lucky you got it. So 19-year-old. Pretty much my first child was the self-discovery of parenting. I was a selfish prick when she was first born. I was only 27, very young as a father. In my next life, I'm going to book in being a father a little bit later on. I didn't really know who I was or what I stood for. I just knew that when this little human being was born, I instantly fell in love with her and I instantly wanted to be the best thing that I could be for her. And in some respects, I was. But in some respects, I let down her and her mum because I was a shit bloke. And the thing is, I don't think we're ever ready for parenting. I don't think we ever are in the right place. Is there a right age? Yes, I think when you're older, you're a little bit more mature, but then do you become a little bit more protective and selfish? Because as you get older, maybe you want to travel more, maybe you want the freedom to do what you want. So there are conflicting arguments about at what stage to have a kid. When I really look back at it, the creating of me as a man has come from being a parent and having to step up and be responsible. It's the same for my son. My son is 17. He has ADHD. He is a really good kid and he's really great to have as a buddy. I consider him my best mate, as I do with all my kids. But I always worry. I'm a big worrier. I smother him. I drive him fucking mad because I'm like, are you home? Are you right? He's like, I always forget that he's nearly 18. In my head, he's still my little 8 to 10-year-old. And I can't get, sometimes adjusting to that is hard. And it's been really difficult to watch my 2 kids grow up into adults. I spent my whole life dedicated to them. When I got divorced the first time, I wanted to sort myself out. They were my driver. They were my purpose. They were the things that made me a better man. And then they grew up and they didn't need me. And I was lost. It was really tough to deal with, as I'm sure parents who've been through it before can vouch. Then I remarried and we did it all again. And I'm very fortunate that I am a much better man than I was for my first round of kids, for the first round. This time round, I'm a much better leader to myself. I'm much more mature. I'm much more in control of my emotions, much more regulated, but I still do struggle. I still do struggle every now and then as a 46-year-old to cope with the demands of a 3 and 7-year-old, but who doesn't? And that's where I think working as a team with your partner is absolutely critical. When I look at my marriage with Jem, it's all about teamwork. One supporting the other, or the other one supporting the other person, depending where we're at. It's either 80 or it's 20, or it's 20 and it's 80. And when we're both 20, you've both got to pick yourself up, right? I'm sure she'd just come home and is earwigging. Are you earwigging? Are you earwigging? I'm just doing a video, so if you keep the noise down. So having the kids has brought huge amounts of need for barriers for me to be better with my time and my energy, for me to show up and be a better man, for me to take care of myself. I've kind of got this mission that I want to see all my kids hit 30. And I kind of think in my head, by the time they hit 30, they'd at least have some gist of how to get through life. And I would have made that impression on them. And I would have taught, educated, mentored, coached, fucking been a parent, whatever you want to call it, to that point where they're ready to kind of live the rest of their life. Ultimately, I always say ultimately, the 2 very key principles is always to show love through kisses, cuddles, and it's to verbalize that love by telling them, I love you, by telling them that you're proud of them when they do something well. And all the other noise of parenting, all of the other mistakes that we make, all the things that we don't get right, that's just part and parcel of life and being a parent. But ultimately, if my kid still at 17 and 19 is happy to turn around and say, love you, in front of their friends, I consider that a success. If my boy, every time he leaves the car, we do our little bro handshake, and he's happy to do that in front of his mates, I've done something right. If my boy wants to go to the gym with me, I've done something right. If my daughter wants to go out to lunch with me, I've done something right. When my two little ones come running up to me when I walk through the front door and they're like, Daddy, I've done something right. A lot of the things that I might not consider as wins or doing things right, where I criticize myself all the time and put myself under pressure, they don't really matter, because overall it's the love and the belief that you show in that kid that really matters as a parent. That's the one thing that when I die, I want my kids to turn around and say, I was always loved, I was always told to believe in myself, and I always got that from Dad. You know, nothing else matters. No amount of money can buy that. No amount of anything can get that. And you have to keep working on it. And there's times when I've shouted when I shouldn't have shouted. There are times when I've fucking lost my shit and said shit that I didn't mean. And it's all irrelevant, because what really matters is the unconditional love, support and guidance of those kids until the day that you die, so that they can pass on some of your qualities onto the next generation. That was deep.